Like this.
I like what you said about brands. I got my own brand, but I like this brand too. You know what I'm saying? You can have more than one. But that's what I was
Absolutely.
gonna say. I wanted to go back to something I said. I already asked, what kind of person are you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna flip this right here, and I'm gonna ask this question right here. It's gonna ruffle a little feathers.
Hey, we
Um,
rough with.
right. The next question is, can you? Right? It's what kind of person are you? But here's the next question: can you? Can you look past the nose on your face to stop holding another person hostage for who they used to be? And that might have went over some people's heads. Can you see past the nose on your face
Mm-hmm.
and forgive somebody for the person they used to be? And let me break that down for you. Don't judge me on who I was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago. People change. Are you a person who can look past that, or are you going to hold on to that? I'm not going to see you for what you are, who you are right now, because of what you were at this time in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So at 5 years old, I was stealing candy and running out the AM PM, running down the street. At my age now, I'm not going to run down the street and steal no candy when I can go in there and buy it, right? But are you going to still hold me hostage, right? You're holding me hostage here. You're not going to do nothing. You can't be nothing more than a 5-year-old thief stealing candy.
Mm-hmm.
Can you look past the nose on your face? And this is a real question that you have to ask yourself, because if you say yes, it's some people you got to forgive. You heard that. If you say yes to that question, I can look past the nose on my face and stop holding the person hostage. It's some people you have to forgive and let them show you the new version of the version that you're missing, because this requires you to open your eyes, wash your face, take the sleep out your eyes, and stop sleeping on the person, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us sleep on other people because we only can see what we saw then. We can't see you for nothing more than what you are, and we'll miss the whole blessing. Your
Mm-hmm.
blessings don't got to come. Only God can send people. God can send people. God don't have to send the message directly to you. Your blessing can come by way of third party, by
Yeah.
fourth party. Your
Mm-hmm.
blessing can come by association. You may not be a millionaire, but you know Tyler Perry. Now God may have blessed him, but guess what? The blessing can come through him. Or Tyler
Brands.
Perry may know your cousin, brands. Tyler Perry may know your cousin. You know, he don't know you, but your cousin is good with him. But guess what? Your cousin just put you on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't your blessing that to get the movie theater going. It was Tyler Perry, but he knew somebody. He put somebody on. Who put somebody on? Put you. So your blessing can come in any forms. Can you forgive people for what they done, or for any wrong that they done in the past? Can you see past the nose on your face? Because some of y'all folks are cut off your nose just to spite your face. You get it? Block your whole blessings. Went over your head. Some of y'all are cut off your nose to spite your face and block your own
Mm-hmm.
blessings. You got to
Yeah.
stop doing that and stop holding people hostage.
Yeah.
Period. Let some of that shit go and look at a person. Now I get what DMX said. Trust the person to be the person that they are. If you see a snake, trust the snake to be a snake. Trust the dog to be a dog. Trust the cat to be a cat. Whatever. But people change. And I
Indeed.
know it may be hard to believe, but people change. So what this person was, uh, 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 what's my guy? Forrest Whitaker. No, not Forrest Whitaker. Rock. Charles S. Dutton. Rock. He gives you all the positive movies. He gives you all the positive movies. When Rock plays in the movie, when Charles S. Dutton plays in the movie, he plays the hell out of a role, a positive black role model. But if you look at Charles Dutton's past, Charles Dutton went to prison for murder, and he got 5 years. And I think he hit an officer. He hit an officer and got 10 years or something like that. And he said, damn, it's crazy. I got more for hitting the police than killing a black man. So don't Don't judge a book
Right.
by its cover, and don't hold a person to what you once known them to be, because as anything in life, we evolve, we get better, we mature, we learn from the lessons. If you ain't learning from your mistakes, then you just idiot. You just an idiot, or you're a slow learner, because I don't want to down anybody.
They're
But
not wise. It's not wise.
it's not wise. So make sure you're learning. We learn, we grow, we adapt, we change, we evolve. You changed, you changed, you evolved,
Maybe.
you grew, maybe, right?
Maybe.
But that's the hope. That's the hope. So you gotta look
Maybe
at
they.
yourself. If you changed, if you changed, then the other person is allowed to change. So don't hold them hostage to their past when your future is brighter than your past was as well. Go ahead, P.
Yeah, maybe they didn't change, which is why they're trying to hold a person to their past.
A lot of them too.
And that's a real thing. I got this quote that I wrote. Go figure, right?
I was
And the
just gonna
quote
say
is,
that too, nigga. You got a million quotes.
I started writing these quotes years ago, and that's why I wrote. Basically, my book that I wrote is all the quotes that I wrote, and I just
Right.
expanded of what they mean. So
I got
this
you.
quote I wrote is, "Who I was before does not define who I am today, because who I am today is who I was supposed to be in the first place."
Mm.
Right. So that's, as you were saying, I mean, and you're the one who keep making me think of these quotes, so you can blame yourself or pat yourself on the back, however you want to look at it. Who I was before does not define who I am today, because who I am today is who I was supposed to be in the first place. I'm walking
Mm-hmm.
in my purpose and changing for the better. And sometimes people could be changing because they're not around your ass. They limited the distractions of people who they were once around. They went off here and they changed. Like I mentioned, though, sometimes people want to hold people to their past because it makes them feel better about themselves. And it makes them feel inferior or worse about themselves when they see a person changing so much and so dramatically in their eyes. And really, when that person just become the best version of themselves, which they were intended to be without interruption or disturbance. But people be like, wait, hey, wait a minute. That's not how we do what we do. We do what we do like this. And so
Mm-hmm.
that change can make them feel like, well, what you trying to say about them? Oh, so you don't do this, 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 and this no more. You don't steal candy from the store no more. Well, they might still steal from the damn store. So they trying to
Right.
figure out what you trying to say. I ain't trying to
Right.
say nothing about you. I don't care what you do. I'm not
Right.
judging you. But a person, sometimes inferior individuals, no, not sometimes, inferior individuals will always judge an individual who they feel inferior to for doing things that outside of their scope because they haven't moved there yet. Uh, they're mentally they haven't moved there yet, and so they feel inferior, so they'll immediately judge an individual who's living that lifestyle with best practices just because they are not. But the individual who is elevated to this new mindset they're not judging that individual. It's the other way around, which is ironic and crazy. um yeah, so I wrote down a couple things. I put, no, most people can't because that's how they know you, plus that makes them comfortable, which is basically what I was just talking about. They Most people can't look past the nose on their face to forgive a person for their past because that's how they know them. They're comfortable. They want to always hold them there. Like if it's your cousin you
Right.
grew up with when y'all was kids, when your cousins see you, and if they haven't seen you in 12 years, when they talk to you, they still go talk to you like when y'all was 13. You know
Right.
what I mean? They go still that's the P they know. You know what I mean? So they trying to hold on to that, and that's where they are comfortable at, even though you may have grown so far from there. So relatives and people who've known you are usually the ones who are most, for lack of a better term, guilty of this, because they can only relate. Relatives can only relate, if you catch the pun, to where they knew you when you were at your most vulnerable state, not who you grown to when you grew up and grew and continue to grow into the best version of yourself. Relatives can only relate to where they knew you when you were all running in the same pack, doing the same type of things with the same type of mindset until you grew out of that made a change for the better for yourself. Um, Also, you were saying, can you forgive a person for the wrong? The irony in that is that an individual may not have even wronged that person.
Mm.
Like if you're stealing candy out of store, you didn't do nothing to them. but they'll still try to hold you for stealing candy out of the store. So a lot of times people try to hold people for the wrong they did, even though they didn't wrong them. Now, who are they to do that? What are they holding on to? That would be a flaw in their character, not the individual who has grown. It would be a flaw in the individual's character to say, well, I remember when so-and-so used to do this, used to do that, used to do this, used to do that. Saying used to meaning that they're recognizing that they no longer do.
Right.
But they still want to hold them to that because that's where they're stuck. That's a flaw in their character, not the other way around. And then I would say, you know, me, sometimes I get a little vulgar, but I would say, fuck them. Don't let people hold you hostage. Don't ask for nobody to release you. You know what I mean? You're absolutely correct. It's a sign, but where you're going with it is a sign of power for the individual to say, hey, I recognize that flaw, and they recognize that flaw in themselves and say, hey, you know what? I've been holding this person to this. This person has grown. That's a sign of strength and growth in that individual. And that's your point. That is an individual strong enough to see past they self and say, man, whether they didn't realize it or not, they become aware that, damn, I was holding that person back. They were holding that person back. And now they're strong enough in themselves and improve their way of thinking, their way of doing, their self-reflection to say, man, this person has grown tremendously. Like you said, and that's growth themselves. So now both individuals are growing. So practice that strength and recognizing when people have grown, and practice and recognize the weakness within a person. Should recognize the weakness within themselves if they hold people, because that's a terrible weakness. When somebody is growing, and I always talk about the other version of this, so I'm glad you said something. I always tell my members, people are going to do exactly what you said, try to hold them where they are, and they're going to recognize, and they will recognize it, but just keep going. Don't worry about them. Long story short is what I tell them. But let's talk to the other people. You're absolutely right, Kacey. You are absolutely right. To the other people, grow yourself and don't hold people there, because really they're holding themselves back. If you see their growth, it's okay to recognize it. And just in that moment, you will have grown yourself. So that's a great piece of advice. So yeah, I think that it works both ways. So all my people who are growing and changing for the better, it don't matter if people recognize it. It don't matter if people are trying to hold you to where they think that you once were, when they probably the people who helped you be there in the first place was holding you there. You know what I mean? It don't matter what they think. However, to the individuals who might be guilty of that, it would be a best practice for you, like my brother Kacey said, to look past yourself and for that individual to grow by simply recognizing and accepting that this person has changed for the better. And it would be a release for them to no longer try to hold them where they once were, because they see the growth, they see the power, and within themselves, just by doing that, they will be growing into their own power. So it goes both ways, absolutely.
Okay, one more spiel on it before I get off this topic. One more spiel. Blind loyalty.
This is a great fucking episode, by the way.
It just came out of nowhere, didn't it? Blind loyalty. I'm gonna say blind loyalty because you just said something. People feel like they were there with you. Here's the thing. Here's the spiel. This is some real, right? You're gonna have people there that's gonna help you along the way. God gonna send you people along the way that's gonna help guide you on your journey. You watched The Wizard of Oz. You seen Dorothy had to pick up Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, and so forth. In life, you're going to get help and assistance. Some people are going to be there longer than others. Yeah. But remember, this one line that we all know: a reason, a season, or a lifetime. People can come into your life for a reason. I mean, they probably came just to deliver this part, just to help you with this part. Maybe to show you just this much. Maybe some people are going to come in for a season. They're going to be here for a little bit longer because they need to make sure that they walk you through it. This is your tutor. This is the person this may be your partner. This may be whatever. And then you got some people that's going to be there for your lifetime. You know, and you know, those is your kids, but even they'll disappear on you. You know, everybody got their own life to live. So you got a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? Here's the thing. We can have this blind loyalty, man. You was here with me through this season. So I owe you everything. You've been riding with me this whole time, from rooter to the tutor. So I owe you. If I come up, you come up, and then you came in at the right time. And without you, I wouldn't have got there. Right? Fuck that. Fuck that. Ain't no more blind loyalty. And don't be afraid to outgrow people. Don't be afraid to outgrow somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because your friends will turn to your enemies quick as shit. People gonna get envious of what you do. Even the ones who was with you for the lifetime, they'll start seeing, whoa, I've been with them the whole time. Why happened to me and didn't happen to them? Why didn't it happen to me, but it happened to them? Or you got the person who came in at that time. Hey, fool, you would have never got there without me. Like I didn't do the work.
Yeah.
That's how I met you. You know what I'm saying? Or this person here, I still by you when I seen you struggle. Yeah, you seen me struggle, but did you help me? Or was you just
Yeah.
along for the ride? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to outgrow somebody, man. I don't owe you shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grow because what God has for me is for me and me alone. If I'm able to leave some breadcrumbs or throw back a rope and pull somebody up with me, then I'll do that. But if I throw a rope down for you to come up, do you know who's gonna come up? The person who's working harder than other people. The person who wants to get up there is going to be the person that comes up.
Yeah.
I'm going to help
Yeah.
who wants to help themselves. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid to outgrow. Don't be afraid to outgrow your family. Don't be afraid to outgrow your friends. Don't be afraid to outgrow the person next to you. Don't be afraid to outgrow the dog. I don't give a fuck who it is. Don't be afraid to live your best life, to be the highest version of yourself. And we always say it, be the best version. Don't be a fucking afraid to be your motherfucking greatest self. Don't be afraid to be the goat of your life. Be the goat of your life. Be a goat for you. That's what you do. Go be the goat for you. Everybody ain't got your back. Everybody not meant to go with you. Everybody not meant to go on your journey. They say you get 3 good women in your life. You probably get less homeboys than that.
At the same time?
Shut up, P. I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You're a nut. But you get what I'm saying, man. Y'all, don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid to go live your life. Don't be afraid to live your best life. Don't be afraid to outgrow people. Sometimes you can't put a tree in a flower pot and expect it to be a full tree. You can't put a redwood in a rose pot and think that it's gonna do the same thing. So let a tree be a tree, man. Go grow. Even
No, for sure.
if you gotta get away from the roses.
Indeed. I'll add something too, that don't be afraid to grow or outgrow. Don't be afraid to outgrow your own worst habits. Don't be afraid to outgrow your own worst habits, because in doing so, that's how you start to outgrow some of the things that you shouldn't be attached to, whether those things come in the form of people, habits, or otherwise. The habits are the driving force of a lifestyle. So don't be afraid to outgrow your worst habits, and be willing and put the necessary energy. It takes strength to outgrow habits, because habits take a hold of people. Like, they got a hold on people. People defend them habits, even if they deep down or on the surface know that it's not the best thing to be practicing. People still let them bad habits keep a hold on them, because they like, well, I heard somebody once say, um, they was getting on Tim Tebow, because I guess they said Tim Tebow didn't drink alcohol and he was a virgin or something like that. I could be messing this up.
Right. I remember that.
But that's what they said. And then this person was like, well, uh, God created you to have sex, and they drank wine in the Bible. So, and I'm not harping on people that drink or whatever, but just a person will make up anything they believe supports what they already want to believe. They'll find a way to defend a bad habit rather than outgrow it.
Right.
Because so many people will equally support that same bad habit with some of the same rhetoric, right? So without sounding like I'm not gonna keep going on that because it's gonna sound like I'm harping on a whole lot of people. But just be willing to. Yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm just gonna keep it, you know,
Yeah, because
general.
they're gonna be watching like, I think this motherfucker talking about me.
Yeah, or just sound like I'm grouping people
Right.
together too much. So I'll just say be willing to outgrow your worst habits without detailing what giving any examples of what a bad habit might be. Because for some people that might be a sore
A
spot.
drug addict. Yeah, yeah. So, hey, man, y'all know what we saying, man. Don't be afraid to outgrow, man. Live your best life and nurture yourself. Pour into yourself. Pour into yourself. That's the message, man. Pour into yourself. Get your core right. Get your core right.
Get your
Get your
core right.
get your
Indeed.
core right. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Get your core financially.
Financially.
Get
Yeah.
get your core right. Get your core right, man. This is what we teaching y'all today, man. Substance. What kind
Yeah.
of person are you? What's your values? Do you have it? Are you storing it? Are you filling up your data bank? Are
And
you
if
are
you
you
don't, are you
are
willing to
you
go get it?
are you willing to go get it? You don't know
Willing
what
to
you
go
don't
learn
know
it?
until you don't know it. You know what I'm saying? When you need to know it, you're gonna realize you don't know it. So listen, learn, educate yourself. Uh Educating yourself is just like going to the gym. If you read books or you read a lot, that's the same as
Indeed.
going to the gym and lifting weights. You're just doing it with your brain.
Indeed.
Strengthen that.
Do
Strengthen that.
both,
What my partner say? Train the brain,
and the
and
body
the
will
body will
follow.
follow.
It's actually on this. So y'all see the top of this, but it's actually on the bottom down here. Hold on, let me take y'all in and I'm gonna put my other banner up so you can see it. But let me take y'all in for the real thing real quick, so you can see without giving. Oh, it's on my shirt right here. What are we talking
This
about?
fool. This fool.
But on the bottom of the banner right there, am I showing the banner? What am I showing?
They say train the brain. There you go. And the body will follow. There you
Yeah,
go.
so it's on there. So anyway, I was just showing that, but it's
Yeah,
actually on the same thing on my shirt right here.
that's an accurate thing, man. If you start training your mind, man, and learning and building it up, build up your mind, man. Once you start putting that best practice that you want to grow your brain, then you'll start looking at the rest of the things that can be improved on in your life. Knowledge begets knowledge, man. Once you start learning, you can't help but learn more because you want to keep on learning because knowledge is power. Power is food, food for thought, man. This is where we get this from. You are what
Yeah,
you eat, man. So make sure that you ingesting a lot of knowledge, a lot of spiritual things, a lot of cleansing, a lot of
wisdom.
positive energy, a lot of Solomon asked for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You get this stuff in your life, man. Pour into yourself. Love on yourself. Love on your family, but don't be afraid to outgrow your family. Love on your friends, but don't be afraid to outgrow your friends. Love on your old lady, your old dude, whatever it is, but don't be afraid to outgrow them because remember, a reason, a season, and it can be multiple seasons or a lifetime. But don't be afraid to outgrow this person or situation because you feel a sense of blind loyalty to anything or anyone. The only person that you should be loyal to is yourself. The only power that you should worship more than yourself is just the higher power, whichever name you put on it. But don't make yourself a ball and chain to anything or anybody that's going to prohibit you from being the best version and reaching the highest ceiling and the highest level that you'll be able to reach at any given moment. Because when opportunity comes knocking, you better open the door and take it. Because tomorrow's not promised. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today's a gift. That's why it's called the present. So when you get it, you open it, you say thank you for the blessings, and you take that moment and you make the best out of it because it may be the last one you get, It may be the first one you get. You may fail. You may fuck it up. You may make it the best thing ever. But when you get it, you grasp it, you hold it, you mold it, you shape it, and you put out into the universe what the fuck you want, who the fuck you are, and what kind of person you are. And that's when you're gonna be the best version of you.